Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, I hope you all are having a great time and very productive sessions at TIE Global Summit 2020, which is the world's largest entrepreneurial summit by the entrepreneurs for the entrepreneurs. We have so many eminent personalities gracing the event, and we are really thankful to them. We have with us Mr. Mahavir Sharma, who's the chairman of Global Board of Trustees, TIE. Mr. Mahavir Sharma, we're so thankful to you for organizing this event and for being with us over here.
Thank you, Jasleen. Thank you, Jasleen, and good evening to everyone here in India, and good morning to the Honorable Minister Gustavo, who's joined us all the way from Chile. It's 7-something in the morning. Thank you for joining us such early in the morning, and you're most welcome on the world's largest global summit of entrepreneurs, and the audience consists of startups, investors, VCs, and whatnot. So without much ado, I don't think Costa Rica needs an introduction. I think you're the flag bearer of the tourism there, and Costa Rica. Just wanted to have a quick overview on the tourism opportunities and your proximity to the US and how easy it is to get, so that people get an idea. People confuse South America with multiple other countries, which were not so good with the US as a political country. Just wanted to give you an overview on the political and touristic overview quickly, if you can, please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. I am very honored to have been invited to this conference, so I appreciate this opportunity. And please receive a warm virtual hug all the way from Costa Rica in Central America, the land of biodiversity, the land of social progress. We're a small country, only 51,000 square kilometers, but at the same time, we have a big heart. This is a country that embraces globalization, embraces culture exchange, and we have some interesting bits of information that explains why the tourism industry is so thriving here. A quarter of our land is under some form of protection. More than half of our land has forest coverage. We have a 97% literacy rate amongst the population, based on a public education system that has been working very well for over 70 years, and a very solid health system, which, by the way, in the current situation that the world is going through, has come very helpful for us, our health system. And like you mentioned, our proximity to the US market has given us a very interesting perspective of development, but we chose a path of sustained growth, not explosive growth, kind of measured growth. The tourism industry has been growing steadily for the last 30 years at a rate of 3 or 4%. So we don't have big jumps of growth. And that has allowed us to build an industry that truly reaches every corner of the country. And again, despite the fact that we only have 51,000 square kilometers, there are 32 different tourism regions and attractions. And to finish my overview, in terms of Airline Connection, we have 27 airlines were serving Costa Rica on a regularly scheduled manner before the pandemic. Right now, 21 out of the 27 airlines have already returned. And of those, we have 6 direct flights from Europe, from 6 major cities in Europe. And the rest are direct flights from either the United States, Canada, or Central and South America. So this is a country that is highly connected to the world. And that is also a reflection of our culture. We embrace globalization and culture exchange.
That's great. And I talking about your land, surface land with so much of forest, there's huge potential for ecotourism, for health, and nature and wildlife. I'm so happy that you are a true traveler's delight, and you have everything and you're very conscious of the fact that environment is the future, and you want to talk about ecotourism and environment and how tourism is such an important economic driver for you that you would not want to compromise on something like that?
Of course, of course. That has been the base of our development of the tourism industry. We have a great deal of experience with ecotourism, and we see it as both a tourism activity and a policy, a country policy, because it is truly a tool not only for conservation, but also a tool for social progress. And that I think is where the big difference resides. For us, ecotourism has been the means to finance our national park system, and it has also been the way to bring well-being to rural communities and coastal communities. Uh, Over the years, uh, we have developed a very strong rural tourism network. In that regard, I think investors listening to this event today might find it beneficial to know that we have an integral management of tourism destinations program that we launched 2 years ago. It is a program designed to strengthen the local management process and create, a true management system at the local level to generate the conditions that improve the living conditions of the communities. So, besides being acknowledged internationally as a natural beauty destination, um, we also have some industries that have tied up really well to this positioning. We have now a very, very interesting concentration of high technology in medical innovation industry that has a wide export capacity of high quality products. And again, that is explained in the end by the fact that we have a very good talent base with a population with over 97% literacy, and where more than half of the population speak more than two languages.
Wow, this is great. So talking about investments, and that you've just given me a cue to my next question. I think TAI has plentiful of people from across the globe who love to invest in hospitality and tourism and travel businesses. What are the key areas that you think we can invest in, and how conducive or easy it is to work with the government and cross-border investments into Costa Rica?
Okay, perfect. That's a wonderful question. And of course, I'm going to start focusing on the industry that I am currently the director of, which is the hospitality and tourism. Tourism and hospitality represent 9% of our gross domestic product and almost 10% of formal employment. So, even though it is, an industry that represents 1/10 of the economy, it still has a lot of opportunity for investment. Investors would need to take into account a few distinctive aspects and benefits of our country. We're perceived as a viable society that honors both nature and enhances the well-being of citizens. We offer a set of benefits established in the Tourism Incentives Act. And let me mention a few of those benefits. For instance, in the hotel industry, incentives include exemption from taxes and surcharges applicable to the import or local purchase of items that are indispensable for the development and operation of the hotels. Um, and that includes expansion or remodeling of existing hotels. So if you invest on an existing property and you want to renew it, then those benefits apply. Um, we have high demand areas, but at the same time, we have upcoming destinations within the country that have plenty of opportunity. The local hotel industry is comprised mostly by small properties. 94% of hotels in Costa Rica have less than 40 rooms. So there is plenty of rooms for medium and small investments. Um, at the same time, we have a financial system that promotes tourism investment. We have a large array of banks. Three of those are state banks of important size that have very specific portfolios and very specific conditions of investments for hotels and tourism enterprises, as well as the presence of international world renowned banks I don't know, BAC, Scotiabank, Citibank, the names that you would recognize in the financial international arena. Now, that is opportunities in the hospitality industry, but we also have large opportunities in the shared services sector. Many world-renowned names like Amazon, like mm, Hewlett Packard, Microsoft have established operations here in Costa Rica to set up their shared services to the world. And medical parts, that's also a very interesting sector that has been growing as a very specific niche of high value for exports. So that's a brief example of things that are
So
interesting to invest in Costa Rica.
that's great. So that's investment. Also, where Thai is very big on MICE travel, corporate conferences. Indians are very big on weddings, destination weddings. Indian movie industry is big. Are there any things that the government works with on bringing delegations and groups and movies? Is there a policy in place, or is there easy to get permissions, etc.?
Yes. I thank you so much for this question, and I'm going to answer in two different perspectives. First, the MICE industry. The country developed a state-of-the-art facility, a national congress center, only 4 years ago. And so it's brand new and it has the top standards for in terms of sustainability. Now, don't think of a super large facility. This is for 5,000 people, but that's what this country is about. This is we follow the small is beautiful kind of policy and mentality. But we've been attracting the mines industry because what's really interesting for someone coming to Costa Rica for a conference is that you might be in the conference for 4 or 5 days, and then there are amazing beaches and amazing cloud forest and rainforest less than 3 hours from where this congress facility is. So mixing your business conference with a true inspiring and recharging vacation is the easiest here. And I'm going to mention the movie industry, the movie production industry. That for us is critical right now. In fact, 1 month ago, I personally developed a Congress bill along with some congressmen, and that has been presented and is being discussed in the next few weeks to provide a specific tax benefits for movie production in Costa Rica. Let me go over that a little bit. Costa Rica, many years ago, joined forces with top companies of nature and culture productions, including National Geographic. So we continue to invite producers from all over the world to film nature marvels. And that goes on without incentives. That goes on based on the fact that this tiny little country here has 6% of the world's biodiversity. So shooting nature here is just, the paradise for that kind of segment. But at the same time, we have had some experience in film productions. Let me say some examples. The film After Earth with Will Smith was filmed in Costa Rica.
Wow.
The film 1492, Conquerors of Paradise by Ridley Scott, and that was starring the famous French actor Gerard Depardieu. That was filmed in Costa Rica. 3 decades ago, going back farther past, El Dorado, which was a Spanish mega production, was filmed in Costa Rica. So what we're doing now is we're promoting a bill that should be approved in the next 60 days that includes benefits, like I mentioned, tax breaks for filmmaking of all kinds. So I think that's becoming now a priority for us.
Great.
Another example of a bill in the lines of attracting the right kind of visitors to our country is a bill that we call the Digital Nomads Bill. Basically, it's a law that will be attracting the long-term stay visitor. It's going to be very easy. Basically, an opportunity for someone who wants to work remotely. So from Costa Rica, you can be a tourist and work from here. And by proving a very simple fact that you earn a salary of $3,000 per month or more, then you immediately get a 1 year work visa with multiple entries
Right.
permitted. So we're working on approving that. This actually should be approved this week um, because as the pandemic has shown, remote working is now the normality. So it's important for us to attract the long-term stay visitors.
That's great. So that's I'm so glad that you have this policy in place. Now, the other thing that people don't know, and everyone clubs South America as a one country, that you've been as long a democracy as almost India is 1948, and we got independence in 1947. You're a free country. The cost of labor, HR, the laws that they exist are pretty relevant for any kind of investments or getting local people to work. Just wanted to re-emphasize from your end the safety and security before we go on to food, which is another sensitive topic for we Indians, mostly vegetarians or half vegetarians. So just wanted to touch that later. But first, the safety, security, democracy, labor available. I know the language you touched with the two languages, but still ease of working and operating in Costa Rica.
Yes, yes, and that's one of the things that makes us, and I'm going to use the word carefully, but it makes us proud. Um, we have a long tradition of democracy. It goes actually farther back. Our democracy is 200 years old. But in 1948, that you mentioned that year, something critical happened. We did have, that was the last time we had a social unrest in terms of a civil conflict. We can't call it civil war, that we can't call it that far, but it was a civil armed conflict. And it ended up with an agreement between the two opposing groups that actually abolished the army. So Costa Rica hasn't had an army since 1948. And what happened after that? All the resources, all the economic resources that would have otherwise been invested into an army went into public education and public health. So 72 years later, what you have is a population that has plenty of opportunities no matter where you live. No matter where you go in Costa Rica, you will find a good school and a good health clinic with a solidarity system that includes everyone. That in terms of social peace in an environment of stability has been critical. And then along came tourism, providing the economic activity in those rural communities to match the equation of you have education, health, and an economic activity that allows everyone to have a very, very good life, no matter where you go here in the country. In that regard, we have had the blessing of having a stable democracy, a stable environment. Every 4 years, the government changes, and you don't really see a very strict change in mentality or ideology. Sometimes the new government will be a little bit center right, sometimes it will be a little bit center left, but we haven't had any far right or far left mentality since over 100 years ago. That actually provides a very, very good, stable environment for international investment. And I think that's why our export sector, which is comprised both by local and international companies, is the driving force of our economy now. In terms of safety and security, we have the normal problems that countries have. There is this situation with international drug trafficking that once in a while our local polices and the local intelligence forces act, and they catch groups that are doing illegal movements internationally. But I think that no other country is exempt from this type of activity. We have a very stable and safe situation in the country. And just to give you an example, I don't know if this is a good example or not, but here I am, a cabinet member, and I drive my own car with no bodyguard. So a
That's
short
good enough.
example.
That's good enough. That makes it safer from our country, but that's okay. Food. I understand. What kind of cuisines there are. Is it vegetarian availability? All that. Does it work well with the American, Indian, European, Asian? Everything is available. Is it
Yes,
globally?
yes, and food could take us all morning because of a discussion because it's such an exciting topic. Let me tell you on the first hand that the institution that I preside over, which is the Costa Rica Tourism Board, has had a program in place for the past 10 years that consisted on bringing the knowledge of local production, of local ingredients, or local freshly ingredients in each one of the regions of Costa Rica to be put in value in terms of presentation and preparation so that the cuisine offer of the tourism industry is now an aspect of strength and not just a normal aspect. So, in other words, right now, gastronomy and cuisine is one of the strengths of Costa Rica as a tourism destination. So, if you will, this is an exciting cuisine destination with many ingredients that are also eaten in India. So, for instance, we eat on a weekly basis, we eat lentils, coriander, potatoes, tomatoes, to name a few vegetables that are similar to those that you use in India. In our country, because of the time zone that we're in, we get year-round vegetables in a great variety of flavors, tubers. We have a particular type of dish which we call picadillo, which is based on tubers and vegetables, including versatility and seasoning. And basically, this is 100% vegetarian or vegan dish that we eat on a regular basis here in Costa Rica. So the options to taste and discover food in Costa Rica are endless. And the tourism industry has enriched our culture and mentality of food. We've been adapting to trends. Vegetarian options are no longer just a corner in the menu. Now, pretty much everywhere you go, you will find complete vegetarian and vegan menus, especially in hotels that are serving the international market. And in hotel and restaurants, when you make a reservation, you can pre-alert about specific diets that are required. In pretty much every member of the sector now can adapt the menu and the protocols to serve special needs. So it's exciting. The times that we're living are exciting because we learn from different cultures. Now, um, maybe 15 years ago we couldn't find a good Indian restaurant here in San Jose, but nowadays I know at least of six of them, and I'm a regular customer to one particular Indian restaurant called Naans and Kuris.
Ah,
That is amazing, amazing.
great. So,
It
so
reminds me of my experience in Kerala 5 years ago.
So I'm just, that was going to be my last question, and you added on the cultural connect that we have with India. Unfortunately, I've not been to Costa Rica, but you've been to India. Do you see similarities? Do you see synergies? Do you see the warmth, the hospitality that we Indians offer coming out of Costa Ricans and the local people? Is it welcoming as a country? And do our cultures also overlap and make each other comfortable going across border tourism?
No doubt, no doubt. My experience in India is not vast enough, so I can only speak about my experience in Trivandrum in Kerala, but it felt so similar. It felt so similar in terms of the environment, the biodiversity, and the way hospitality people treated me. I felt very welcome, and you would find that in Costa Rica. We Costa Ricans are very aware of what we have as a country. We're very happy that this is a country that preserves nature. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 26% of our territory in some form of protection. And that has given us, a healthy pride about our country. So when international travelers come, we truly want to share what we have with international travelers. And in a way, this fact of having a wide public education system and a wide universal health system also makes us happy people. You know that you're going to have services available if you need them. So that provides a level of comfort as Costa Ricans that in general makes us smiley, happy people. So our international traveler community finds that when they come here, and all of a sudden, as a tourist, you wanna actually feel like a tico. We have a nickname as Costa Ricans, ticos,
Because
ticos.
and
So our international travelers want to feel like ticos for 2 or 3 weeks when they come, and that's because we have a kind of an easy way of living and being in general happy. We have kind of a mantra,
mm,
which is called pura vida. Pura vida literally stands for pure life, but it's something that we say maybe 50 or 60 times a day
wow.
because it's a phrase that we use when we want to mean something positive. For instance, this morning I woke up not long ago because it's only 8 a.m. here. I woke up, and every morning when I wake up, and my wife and I greet each other, and she said, "How are you today?" And I said, "Pura vida." So that means if I slept well, I'm going to answer pura vida to her. If I didn't sleep well, I'm not going to answer pura vida. But it's a way to greet one another. It's a way to say goodbye. If you just had a good meeting, you end up the meeting saying pura vida. So it's kind of a mantra that depicts our culture of embracing life, embracing the good weather that we have year round, embracing the fact that we have good fresh food available year round, in a country that, even though it's small, it embraces international cultures. So I think there are wonderful similarities between India and Costa
That's
Rica.
so great. So
I
great.
know I know some very good, very professional investors from India that have moved to Costa Rica. Some of them are my friends, and I think they find Costa Rica to be a culture-friendly country that embraces Indian community.
Absolutely. No, no. It's pura vida is a word that I will not forget because it's similar to the Indian, script or dialect, and it basically pura here means complete, and veer is brave. I think pura vida is not a difficult word for us to remember. But just last quick question. I know the weather all around the year is similar and this and same. Any months to avoid? No monsoon, no rains, no very hot times, or is it pretty much okay for anyone to come anytime they want to come?
It's a year-round destination, and the variation of weather is like this. Right now we're in December, so we just finished the rainy season. But rainy season truly means that it will rain for a couple of hours in the morning. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
So the rainy months are August, September, October, and November, but everything gets so green because of the rain.
Yeah.
And you still get an average of 28 Celsius degrees, imagine. Then the warmer months are January through April, and it's going to go up to 30 or 31 Celsius degrees. December right now is going to be our windiest month, and temperature drops to 22 Celsius degrees. So imagine, in the end, we have a variation of between 22 and 30 and 31 degrees. So it's a year-round destination, truly.
That's absolutely great, and I'm looking forward to coming to Costa Rica. I really want to thank you for giving us the time and opportunity to know more about tourism, hospitality, and investment in the sectors in Costa Rica. My conversation would have is much more than pura vida. I don't know if there's any other word, but thank you so much, Honorable Minister Gustavo.
Mr. Sharma, it's been an honor. I mean, the wonderful thing about technology now is that we can have this live conversation all the way from India to Costa Rica. Um, Truly, we're a country that embraces international investment. And I think the investment community, which you very highly represent, is a critical part of our global community right now because people like you provide job opportunities, provide life improvement opportunities for so many people. So I want to thank you for being a leader in the investment community internationally. Um, Costa Rica has some specific offices that help international investment go through easy processes. CINDE, Procomer, we have specific officers that are in charge of making things easy for international investment. So again, please consider Costa Rica as a vacation destination, but also as an investment destination that embraces international culture. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Minister. Thank you.